Hey you guys, Majoo up here, and welcome to the fourth video in our Let's Learn Java series. And today we're going to be learning about if statements. So what are if statements? Remember how in variables we were talking about like booleans and true and false? Well, that's exactly what if statements are. They allow you to do code if something is true or false. All right, so let's look at how do we even write an if statement? Well, we're going to start off with if, as you'd probably expect, and then parentheses. And then we're going to add some brackets, right? And that's the basis of our if statement, right? Now in the parentheses, that is where our test statement's going to be, right? We want to test something. We want to see if something is true or not. And then if it is true, we're going to do whatever we put in between these brackets. All right, so I'm going to do a system.out.println, and I'm going to say this statement is true, right? So now if we put something here and it turns out to be true, it'll print out this statement is true. Let's type in true, right? We want this to execute, right? So I'm going to say if true is true, then it will execute, right? We compile it. No problems. We run it. This statement is true. That is correct. True is in fact true. Now, what if we say it's false? What'll happen? Okay, so if false is true, then execute our code. Well, false is not true. False is false. Nothing happens. It does not run the code because false is false. Right now, when you're actually coding, you're not going to be writing true or false here. You're going to be actually writing test statements. So let's test something, right? So what if I wanted to see if 5 was greater than 2, right? Is 5 greater than 2? Right? Well, let's see if that's true. I'm going to compile it, and then I'm going to run it. And yes, 5 is greater than 2. Okay? So what if is 5 greater than 10? Right? That's false. That's not right. So 5 is not greater than 10. If we run it, and that is exactly what we get. 5 is greater than 10 is equal to false. That is not a true statement. Okay? So, what if something is not true and we still want to do something, right? So, what if I wanted it to tell me this statement is false? Well, what we can do, we can go to the bottom of our bracket here and we can write else, right? And then we're going to put some more brackets in, right? So, this else bracket, this else part will execute if this is false, right? So, I'm going to say system.out.println semicolon. I'm going to say this statement is false. Boom. I'm going to save that, give it a little compile, give it a little run, and this statement is false. Exactly. So we ran it, 5 is not greater than 10, so it goes to our else, and it executes. This statement is false. Pretty handy, right? So we got other tests we can do here. Besides if it's greater than, we can do 5 is less than 10, right? We can say 5 is less than or equal to 10, or 5 is greater than or equal to 10. Those all work. You can do 5 is equal to 10. Now, oh, hang on, we have a problem here. So when we were making variables like int number is equal to 5, we have one equal sign, where here, we're gonna actually do, let's just do number here. Be a little cool. We can add spaces. So we have number is equal to 5. One equal is an assignment operator. We are assigning 5 to number, right? Where two equal signs is an equality test. We are checking if 10 is equal to number, okay? Which our number is 5. This should say false. We'll give it a nice little compile. Compiled it, run it. This statement is false. That is true. 5 is not equal to 10. Now, what if we wanted to test if it was not equal? Well, you can get rid of that first equals and put an exclamation point. Now, this means is not equal to 10. Okay, I'm going to save it. We'll compile. And then we'll run. Hey, this statement is true. 5 is not equal to 10. Right, and then if we change number to 10, Save it. Give it a compile. And then we'll run it. This statement is false. This should equal, statement is false. Did I compile that? Let me save it again. Should be true. Compile. Run. Statement is false. I'm getting false. Am I doing something wrong here? Number does not equal to 10. Number is equal to 10. Oh, hang on. So 5, yeah. So if we get 10, it's false. I'm sorry, I was blanking there for a second, right? When we ran 5, we got true. Yeah, I was blanking for a second there. If we set it equal to 10, and we set this equal to each other, we'll get this statement is true. File it and run. This statement is true. There we go. Perfect. Now, we have a way of testing if something, right? And then else if it's false. But what if we also want to test it for a different case? What if we want multiple cases? Well, instead of putting else here, if I do else if, and then put parentheses, and then put some brackets. Well, now we have another test case. Okay? If we have our number equal to 10, I can do another test case. Well, what if number equal to 5? Right? I'm going to say system.out.println. Oh, geez, println. I can type today. I'm going to say number is equal 5. Right, so now we have another test. I'm going to say number is equal to 5. Right? So what it should do is it'll test if number is equal to 10, and it's not. 5 and 10 are not the same thing. So it'll go to the next case. All right, is number equal to 5? Yes, it'll print out number is equal to 5, and then it's going to ignore this. It's not going to do this. Okay, so if we compile, we run, number is equal to 5. Yeah. Now, if I change this to 6, 6 is not equal to 10, 6 is not equal to 5, so therefore, it'll run our else statement, which is this statement is false. File it, and we run it, statement is false, executes. That is the basis of our if statement. There is one more if statement I'd like to talk about real quick. It's not one you'll see very often, and a lot of times people use it like during like coding competitions because it's a very quick way to write an if statement. So what if I said, all right, we got number here. I'm gonna say int, I don't know name, num answer. All right, I don't know. So I'm gonna set this equal to, let's see, how do I want to do this? So if I'm gonna set this equal to number is equal to 5 question mark, then assign it 0, else, where's that? There it is, else 1. Wow, what is this? And then we're gonna say system.out.println num answer. Okay, this looks really weird. I'm going to compile it. I'm gonna run it. It compiles just fine, doesn't complain. And I run it, we get 1. All right, what is going on here? All right, so we have our number, our int number 6, and then make an int number answer. I want to give it a variable, but I want what it's assigned, right? What I'm going to set it equal to vary based on number. So I'm going to say is number equal to 5, right? And then I'm going to say question. Like this is an if statement. Is number equal to 5? If it is, assign num answer equal to 0. Else, if it is not equal to 5, assign it 1, which when we ran it, it gave us 1 as our answer. But if I set this equal to 5, save it, compile, and run, we get the number 0, because number is equal to 5. This if statement you don't see very often because it's weird. It looks really weird. Sometimes you'll see it, most of the times you won't, just because it's hard to read. But it is helpful to know that it exists. But I would refrain from using it until you get really good at it. Mainly just don't use it because it's hard for others to read it. So yeah, I think that'll do it for if statements. Comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks for watching.